I'm really interested in self-sabotaging because I think no matter where somebody is in their career or how much they thrive in their lives, I think at one point or another, we all self-sabotage. I know that I self-sabotage, and I'm really curious how self-sabotage comes up in the unconscious, because I think it comes in not just many forms, but I think it manifests in our life in so many ways that sometimes is quite sneaky and quite subtle. We can, some of the ways that we sabotage ourselves is even through kind of lack in confidence. That might be, we might be fear of success. You've probably heard of that before. But I also think one of the biggest fears that we have is fear of succeeding. Fear of taking risks or making mistakes or embarrassing ourselves or shame, or we might worry incessantly about how looking at our situation objectively and kind of supporting ourselves, and we might not have the resilience and also the tools within ourselves to be able to kind of overcome some of those barriers. And sometimes we blindly accept other people's advice as well. Some of these qualities are not just about lacking confidence and esteem and belief in ourselves. Some of this is about the fawn, and I spoke about that. I've spoke about it in my 3-day challenge. If you joined me, I speak about it lots in my Thrive and Empower community online membership, about how we can not just overcome the fawn, but how we can transform these qualities into stop sabotaging quite as much. Now, we don't just go from this side of the scale to this. It's like a pendulum of change. So if you're on this side of self-sabotage, or it might even be your inner critic, that kind of not taking charge, not critical voice, incessantly comparing yourself to others, or based on other people's opinions or what they're doing, or you kind of put your expectations away up here. Now, the higher our expectations for ourselves away up here, the further the drop, much bigger drop. We feel let down, we feel disappointed. So that's great because, of course, we keep the pattern, the cycles of our lacking of confidence and esteem and belief in ourselves reiterating itself. So they carry on in the brain, and we keep going on with that behavior, because then we struggle with limiting beliefs and then those debilitating, sometimes overwhelming emotions and attitudes. So how do we move from this self-sabotage? So tomorrow in my membership group, I'm doing about growth mindset and really grappling with what growth and fixed mindset is, but actually not just understanding it and what we do. How do we transform it, and how do we notice the patterns that we're creating? Not through analytical thinking or putting ourselves down, but actually it's much more transformational than that. And also, how do we work with the inner critic? So if you want to join me for the growth mindset tomorrow, it's at 11 o'clock, but it's also on playback if you join the membership at any time. We've still got it on special offer, so give me a shout, put down, have a look at what it involves in the comments below. Or we carry on these self-sabotaging habits that they become not just a day or a week or a month, they become our lifestyle, they become our life, and they impact other people too. So how do we turn that around? And we're going to look at this in the membership on the growth mindset tomorrow, and then next week, next Thursday, the 28th, we're going to really look at building habits. And I'm so passionate about this. How do we do this in a way that actually creates change? A lot of people say, well, I just set goals and I'm motivational, but after 2 or 3 weeks, we all know how that wanes. It just kind of goes, or we strive too much. But what we want to do is really thrive in a way that it's little and often, that it's not the pressure, it's not the stress, it's not the overwhelm. I'm not just taking an hour out my day and putting it into my life, because none of us have that extra hour to sit and do this or that, or set goals, or have this miracle morning, or meditate for half an hour. Most of us just don't do that. We've got busy lifestyles, and that's one of the reasons I've created a membership that actually people just watch on catch-up replay, that it's having that coach in your pocket, you slip it in your pocket. And one of the things I'm really passionate about is really how I encourage and support you to be your coach in your pocket. So how do we move from self-sabotage into where we actually want, and looking at the difference of what we want? So one of the ways that we do that is to challenge your excuses, to challenge your thoughts, not to put ourselves down, but actually challenge, question them, and how we stop feeding our fears, how we stop seeking approval or an opinion from other people, or even people pleasing. And we have to watch our limits, and we have to watch our negative thinking, because there are only our thoughts and they are only our feelings. Now, to get to that stage, to get from there to thinking they're only our thoughts and only our feelings and watching them, that does require some training that we can do within 60, 120 seconds in our daytime. But the bottom line is also you have to learn to create rewards for yourself and take action. If you're up for joining, give me a shout. You got any questions? But I hope some of this has really given value, given you something to think about. But remember, don't keep feeding those excuses, those reasons to get in your own way. Thanks very much for joining me. Bye-bye.